Hello guys, in this video we'll be looking into the solution for add two numbers, so one of the most repeating problems. So I have already have the code here because like writing the code here will take some extra time, so I don't want to have some extra time. So here the question it says let's directly look into the example. I'll explain you. So here it says that we are supposed to add these two things. It's linked list, and one more thing I need to tell you guys, like if you're not aware of linked list, I'll be giving you a card on top of this video and you can watch the linked list video and then you come back here, because if you don't know linked list, then it'll be really hard for you to understand what I say. All right, so here what we are going to do is like they are giving you two heads of two linked lists actually. So using heads you can traverse through the linked list. People who know linked list will be understanding this one. So I have what they have given is like L1 and L2, that is like the head of two linked list. So L1, look at this example 1. So I'll have a mark here. All right, here. So 2 and 5, these two are the heads. So using the heads, we are supposed to traverse and find each and every element, and parallel you have to traverse the elements in um, the list node too, I mean the linked list too. So what you have to do is like 2 plus 5, you're supposed to put 7 at the end, and this has to be your resultant linked list, and you're supposed to create a new linked list, of course. And then again 4 plus 6, that has to be 10. So what you have to do is like you're supposed to store only one digit number, single digit, not two digit. So if you have two digit, if you ever have two digit when you're and of course they'll be giving only one digit, like a single digit numbers, they will never give two digit number, it's already given in the question. But when you sum up two numbers, you might get two digits. So when you get two digit, what you have to do is like just like your normal addition, but usually you'll be taking the carry and you'll be putting up to the left. But in this case, what you have to do is like take the carry, put it to your right, and also you had to start from the beginning. Usually when you sum up two things, you'll be starting from the end, but this case you have to start from the beginning. It's also given in the question, so please read the question carefully before you start the solution. All right, so 2 plus 5, that is 7, you got it. Then 4 plus 6, that's 10. So as I told you, you have to take the last digit. When you have two digit number, you have to take the last digit. So 0 is here, so you still got 1 here. All right, I mean the other one. So when you have got 10, you have taken 0 here and 1 to the carry. So this one 3 plus 4 is actually 7. As I already told you, already have that 1, so altogether you'll be having 8. So this is a question what you have to do. All right, so let's look into the logic what I have framed here. So here add two numbers. All right, so this is a question here. So this is a function what they have given. So I have one variable to store the carry, because when you are summing up two numbers, you might have some carry. Initially it is 0 because like as for now there is no carry, so I'm setting it to 0. And this one, this list node, this is to store the node. This current will, it's like a pointer, it will focus the current node, that is for my result. I'm having this for my result, so this will always focus the current node. So initially it will be focusing on some dummy node. All right, so where I'm storing 0 here. And sometimes, like whenever you're looking into the problems in Leetcode, if you don't know the structure, the schema, you can get in this one. Like they'll be giving you this one. Like sometimes you might be creating a node. All right, so you might not be aware of like what is the structure of node, what they are talking about. All right, so you can look at the structure here. Clear? I mean this one. All right. So here I have created a dummy node and also a head. Of course, you need the head because as a result, you're supposed to return the head. All right, look at the return type. It's of type list node. So you're supposed to return the head of your output linked list. This is the linked list which you're creating at the last, and you're supposed to return the head, just the head. All right, because when it comes to linked list, returning the head is sufficient. All right. Again, I'm telling you, if you don't know what linked list is, it will be really hard. Please do look at my video. Again, I'm giving you a card at the top of the video. Please go look at that and come back again. All right. So here I'm using a while loop. So whenever, of course, people who already know what linked list is, they'll be knowing about the while loop, because definitely we have to use a while loop. We don't know the number of elements we'll be having in the linked list, so it's unknown. It's just like a normal linked list traversal, but the condition what I have given is like L1 and L2 both shouldn't be null. The reason behind this is like we are going to sum up two things, one node from L1, that is your linked list 1, and one node from linked list 2. So that should be node in both the guys. All right. If one has a node which means some element and the other one is null, then it's obviously wrong. All right. We cannot proceed because we had to sum up, because the logic which I have written here, something like taking values from both the nodes. Clear? That's the reason I'm checking L1, the node from first element shouldn't be null, and also the node from second element shouldn't be null. If both the guys have something, some element into that, which means not null, I'm getting into the while loop. So getting into the while loop, the very first thing I told, I'm summing up two elements, answer is equal to L1 dot val is nothing but the value. So if you don't know what val is, look at this one, the schema, you will understand what val is, what next is. Alright, generally a node will be having one value and one next. So the variable differs, right? Sometimes we'll be using data or sometimes value. Alright, so here it is written VAL. Alright. So L1 dot value, which is nothing but 2 in this example. Alright. And then L2 dot value, that is 5 in this example. And carry, why am I putting carry here? Because we don't have any carry here. Of course we don't have carry, but this is something in general we are supposed to write. These codes will be executed for every addition, these two, these two, these two, and it keeps going on, right? So this carry initially is 0. If you don't have a carry, you can mark it as 0. Alright, as for now it's 0, so adding carry will not create a problem. So this one will end up with 7. 2 plus 5, that will be 7. So as for now, the answer is 7. Let me have a mark here. Alright, so as for now it's 7. So now carry is equal to 0. So this is like resetting the 0. Like you might be wondering, like he has already given 0, why he is putting 0 here? I'll come back to that later, maybe in the next iteration. So this particular step, look at this one. I told if answer is greater than 9. What does it mean? If answer, whatever you're summing up here, if it is greater than 9, which means it will become a 2-digit number, right? We are not supposed to have any 2-digit number. So if there is a 2-digit number, you have to split that. Splitting that in the sense, if you have let's say you have 13, so you have to split up in this way, 1 and 3. If you have 14, 1 and 4, something like that. Clear? So how can we split up things? Look at this one. If I have 15, what you can do is like answer is nothing but the summation, like adding up two numbers, you will be having one thing, right? Something which is of 2-digit. So that one, modulus 10, modulus will give you remainder. All right, so that is your answer. Remainder is your answer, because if you want to take 15, you have to split up in such a way that 5 has to be taken as a value for the node. That is here, look at this one. 4 plus 6 is 10. So the second digit, the 0, has to be taken to the value of a node which we are creating, and the left side digit, the left digit, which is 1, will be taken as a carry. And look at this one. I have like like initiated carry is equal to 1. The reason is like I'm not taking the left digit. I'm not even bothering about the left digit. The reason is, whenever they have clearly stated that they will never give 2-digit number, it will be always the single digit. So the maximum single digit they could give is 9. So even if you add 2 9, you will be getting 18 to the maximum. All right, the least is 4 plus 6, that's the least, which is 10. So you might be getting somewhere between 10 to 19, sorry, 18. So whatever you get, you know what, the left digit will always be 1, the carry will be always 1. The right digit might vary, like it might vary, like like 6 plus 4 is 10, right digit is 0. So sometimes 6 plus 6 is 12, right digit is 12, but always your carry is 1. Whenever you get a double digit, it will be 1. That's the reason I'm not finding it directly, I'm giving it as 1. Alright, so I'm using this if condition only when I get 2-digit, and this is a condition to check whether it's a single digit or 2-digit. Alright, so coming back to next one. So now I got the answer, right? So initially this is the answer. If suppose it's a double digit, I am altering my answer, and I'm also setting up my carry. Then again, what I'm doing here, current dot next. What is current actually? The dummy node which you have created. So let's say here is your dummy node. Alright, here is a dummy node. So what I say is current dot next. Current points out to the dummy node. Alright, so that is 0. So what I say is 0 dot next is equal to, I'm creating a new node with the value whatever I have given to the answer, which means in this case 2 plus 5 is 7. so it will not get into this if condition. So your answer is 7. So your linked list will look like this. Have a look at this. All right, and then you know very well your current is pointing out to your C is nothing but the current. Oh, just a minute. Good. All right. So C, I'm putting C here that represents this current. All right. So current dot next is equal to 7. I have set up my linked list. And now you have to do one more thing. You have to shift your current to the very last element so that you can say when you're adding up next two elements, which is 4 and 6, you can say current dot next is equal to 0. All right, that's the next value, next node you're supposed to create. So what you have to do is like you have to shift the current from current node to the next node. You have to shift one step ahead. So this guy does it. Current is equal to current dot next. So using this line, current will be shifted to the next node. All right, so now your current is focusing on the node which contains 7. All right, then again, what am I doing here? L1 is equal to L1. You know what? It's not only about the resulting nodes. It's also about the given node L1 and L2. See here, you are done with 2 and 5. Next you have to, the next two nodes which you have to consider is 4 and 6. So L1 it was earlier here and L2 it was earlier here. Now you have to shift your L1 to this position and L2 to this position. All right, and that's the only reason you're having, it's like shifting ahead, one step ahead. L1 to L1 dot next, L2 to L2 dot next. Again, your next iteration goes. Again, you're checking are they valid, because like sometimes you might come to an end, so you're checking whether they are valid or not. Of course they are valid. It has a node too. L1 L2 they are valid. You're getting into this one. Again, look at this one. This case it will be like L1 dot value is nothing but 4, L2 dot value is 6, so you'll be getting 10. Now your problem arises. Again, this carry is equal to 0. Keep this in your mind. I'll tell it later. So again, answer is greater than 9, of course, because it's 10. So what you do is like answer is equal to answer modulus 10. So you'll be getting 0 there. All right. So answer is actually 10, 10 modulus 10, you'll be getting 0. So your answer is now 0. All right. And carry is 1 as usual. I told you like the reason for putting that as 1 all the time. This is 1. So after you're coming out of this if condition, you're stating this current dot next, that is nothing but the 7 dot next. So 7 dot next, what is that? You're creating a new node with the value of the answer. That is nothing but 0. All right, don't put 10 here, because don't assume 10 here. As per the logic, it will not consider 10, but you don't assume that it is 10, because it gets into the if condition and it just made the answer value as 0. So you're creating a node with value 0. So 7 dot next will be 0. And this line states that current is equal to current dot next. You're shifting your current to the next element, I mean the next node. Then again you're shifting your L1 and L2. Why? As I told you, here in the second iteration, this is your L1, this is your L2. So now these two lines will make your L1 as this will be your L1 and this will be your L2. All right, then again you're coming back to this condition. It says L1 null, of course, like they are like valid. And look at this one, it says L1 dot value, L2 dot value, and look at the carry. You already had one carry, right? You know, last time when you sum up 6 and 4, you got 10 and you got a carry there 1. So you're supposed to add the carry too every time you're adding your carry, because like sometimes if you don't have a carry, obviously it will be 0, so you don't have to worry about that. So this time it will be 3 plus 4 plus 1, which will be 8. All right, so which will be 8. And look at this one. Now come back to this line. I told you that I'll be telling it later. See here, for the last two cases, this one doesn't make any sense. All right, but this time when you say 3 plus 4, you got 8 along with the carry. Then next time you're supposed to put the carry to 0, because you have already considered the carry. Now you cannot keep repeating the carry. All right, because 4 plus 6 you got 10, so you just made a node with 0, and the remaining one it was here already. Then again you added this 1 to these two guys. It's supposed to be 7, but you added that carry, you got 8. Then you're done with the carry, so you're supposed to reset your carry, right? That's the reason you're putting carry is equal to 0 here. All right, if you're not at all getting any carry, this line is obviously useless, but you have to put this one. Sometimes you might get a carry too. All right, so this time you're not exceeding this limit, so this is false here. So again, current dot next, then this is like a storing next node, and then again you're shifting your current. Then this time L1 and L2 are getting shifted to a null position because you're done with the problem. You don't have any other nodes, so the while condition will no more be useful. All right. Okay, so if you think the problem is over, no, it is not. All right, because let me tell you one scenario. I have given two more while condition. It's very simple. See here, it is not mentioned, and like whenever you have got any linked list problem, don't ever think that if suppose you are dealing with two linked lists, don't ever think that those the linked list, the nodes, number of nodes inside every linked list will be equal. All right, we cannot assume that. All right, so let's suppose there is one more scenario here. Look at the scenario. The number of nodes here, it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and here it is 3 and 4, just 4. So look at this one. Let me put up here. Okay, if you only have the while loop which we have seen so far, I mean the first while loop. Oh wait. All right. So if you have only this while loop we have seen so far, your problem will stop here. And it will not consider the remaining cases whatsoever you have got here. This 3 9 will not be considered, because in order to perform this codes, both the guys should be having something, shouldn't be null. If one goes null, then you're coming out of the while loop. Then what about these three guys? Because when your L1 focuses on this particular line, when your L1 focuses on this line, your L2 will be focusing on this line. All right, I mean like this particular node, somewhere here. All right, which is nothing but your null node. So you come out of the while loop, then you didn't consider these three guys. You have to consider that, right? So that's the only reason you're checking it again, whether L1 is empty or not. If both are empty again, then there's no problem. Again, you're checking a while loop with L1. If L1 is also null and L2 is also null, it doesn't matter. Like, because in this case, example 1, look at this. When L1 completes, L2 also completes. So these two guys will never run. All right, but sometimes cases like this. So in this case, L1 is not equal to null. Of course, L1 is not yet over. So you have to keep repeating things. But this time, when you're considering only L1, because when you're coming out of this while loop, either both are empty or one of these guys are empty. That's the only reason you're coming out of the while loop. All right, this first while loop. Second while loop, if at all you're getting into this while loop, it says L1 not equal to null. So when you're getting this while loop, which means L1 has something to proceed. All right, definitely not L2. All right, if L2 also has the same thing, you would have been somewhere here. All right, so L1 has something but L2 not. It doesn't have something, so it's just enough to add your carry and also your L1. All right, so that is the one difference which you will be having from the previous one. And also, and the rest of the things is like the previous one, and this is also this previous one. And look at this one, like I don't have one more line here. You have one line and here you have two line, because in this while loop you will be shifting both L1 and L2, but here you don't have L2 to consider, right? All you have is just your L1. All right, so you don't have to shift your L1, and the same goes with the other one for L2. All right, the other case scenario, like let's suppose your L1 is smaller, like number of nodes in L1 is smaller and number of nodes in L2 is a little bigger. Let's say it has like a few more in this case. So in this case, this while loop will not execute. After the first while loop, these things will be considered, and in order to execute these things, you have to get into this while loop, and this one will do the other trick when L2 is not yet completed. So I have to keep adding this one. All right, so look at this one. I have added something here. All right, sometimes after finishing every node present in both L1 and L2, look at this scenario. I'll give you one scenario. You have got like 3 4 5. All right, and then you have got 3 4 again 5. Look at this case. You add 3 plus 3. Okay, you add 3 plus 3, you'll get 6, and 4 plus 8, and 5 plus 5. I told you you're not supposed to have 2 digits in a single node, so you'll be having only 0. That time you will not have L1, you'll not have L2, but you'll have a carry 1. You're supposed to add that carry, right? So that is the reason I'm checking my carry. If at all I have a carry, because like only if I have a carry, because I have completed with my L1, the entire L1, the entire L2 is completed, everything is completed. But even after completing the entire thing, there is a chance of having a carry. If at all I have a carry, I'm supposed to create a new node and add it to the current dot next. So I'm not going getting deep into the linked list because if you really don't know linked list, again I'm telling you, like, it'll be hard. So you have to get into the linked list video before getting into this video. All right, so please do watch that and come back here. Then finally, I'm returning head dot next and not head. Why is that so? Because look at this one, you have created head as your dummy node. The head dot next, this is the actual very first node. This is the very first node which we have to return. Actually, they are asking about the head, and you're not supposed to return head. As the name says head, it is not the actual head. This is a dummy node which you have created. Look at this one, head is equal to current. All right, so when you're returning, you have to return the actual head, which is nothing but the head dot next. Is that clear? So let me run the code and show it to you. All right, so here we go. Clear. So I really hope that this video has helped you a lot to crack the interviews. Like, if you want to get into a top-based companies like Amazon or Google, like, you have to be. It's not about getting the output, right output. It's also about to get an optimized output. All right, that matters a lot. All right, so getting an output is not only necessary. All right, of course it is necessary, but it's not the only one you have to consider. So it has to be an optimized one. All right, so keep that in your mind when you're preparing for an interview. And thank you. And if you like this video, please do subscribe to my channel, and also please do share it to your friends, and we'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.